You meet someone and immediately feel uneasy. You can't explain why. They haven't done anything wrong. But something in you recoils. Or you walk into a room and feel inexplicably sad. No memory surfaces. No obvious trigger. Just a heaviness you can't account for. Or you keep making the same mistake in relationships. Different people, different circumstances. But the same pattern. And you don't know why. Your conscious mind, the part that thinks, plans, reasons it doesn't have answers for these things. But another part of you does. The part that's always watching. Always recording. Always connecting dots you can't consciously see. Your subconscious mind. And it's speaking to you constantly. Just not in words. Most of what your mind does happens outside your awareness. Your conscious mind, the narrator in your head, the voice making decisions, and it's only processing a fraction of what's actually happening. Estimates suggest your conscious mind handles about 40 to 50 bits of information per second. Your subconscious? About 11 million bits per second. It's monitoring everything. Your environment. Your body. Patterns. Threats. Opportunities. Memories. All of it happening beneath the surface of your awareness. And here's what's interesting, your subconscious isn't random. It's not chaotic. It follows patterns. It has logic. It's trying to keep you safe, connected, and consistent with who you've learned to be. But its logic isn't always your conscious logic. It operates on association, not reason. On pattern recognition, not analysis. On feeling, not thought. So when it sends you a signal, a gut feeling, an inexplicable emotion, a recurring dream, a pattern you can't break, your conscious mind often doesn't understand it. Because the language is different. Your conscious mind speaks in words, explanations, narratives. Your subconscious speaks in sensations, impulses, symbols, reactions. And most of the time, your conscious mind is trying to translate something it wasn't designed to fully comprehend. Your subconscious started learning long before you could think consciously. Before you had language. Before you could reason or plan or reflect. You were absorbing. Constantly. How people responded to you. What was safe and what wasn't. How to get your needs met. How to avoid pain. And those early lessons, they didn't form as thoughts. They formed as patterns. Neural pathways. Automatic responses. If crying brought comfort, your system learned, vulnerability brings connection. If crying brought punishment or neglect, your system learned, vulnerability is dangerous. Hide your needs. You didn't decide this consciously. Your subconscious absorbed it. And now, decades later, you might still struggle to ask for help without knowing why. Because the lesson isn't stored as a memory you can access. It's stored as a reflex. A tendency. A feeling that arises before thought. This is why you can know something intellectually, I'm safe now, this person is trustworthy, I deserve good things, and still feel the opposite. Because your subconscious is operating on older information. Information that was true once, maybe. Information that kept you safe in a context that no longer exists. But it doesn't know that. It's still following the original program. Still scanning for the threats it learned to watch for. Still bracing for the pain it learned to expect. Still repeating the strategies that worked before, even when they don't work now. And it does this automatically. Below your awareness. Faster than your conscious mind can intervene. Your subconscious doesn't speak in sentences. It speaks in symbols. This is why dreams feel meaningful but confusing. Why certain images carry emotional weight you can't explain. Your subconscious is processing experiences, emotions, conflicts. But it doesn't organize them linearly. It doesn't narrate. It creates scenes, metaphors, associations. Water might represent emotion. A house might represent the self. Being chased might represent avoidance. But the meaning isn't universal. It's personal. Built from your specific history, your memories, your associations. And the symbols don't just appear in dreams. They show up in your waking life too. You keep attracting the same type of person in relationships. Your subconscious is repeating a pattern it knows, even if that pattern hurts. You feel inexplicably drawn to certain places, certain activities. Your subconscious is seeking something it needs, something unmet. You have physical reactions that don't match the situation: tension, nausea, exhaustion. Your subconscious is responding to something it recognizes, even if you don't. These aren't random. They're signals. Your subconscious trying to communicate what it knows. What it's learned. What it's protecting you from or pushing you toward. But because the language is indirect, symbolic, somatic, patterned, your conscious mind often misses it. You dismiss the feeling. You ignore the pattern. You rationalize the reaction. And the subconscious keeps trying. Louder. More insistently. Until you pay attention. Here's one of the strangest things your subconscious does. It sabotages things you consciously want. You want the relationship. But you pick fights. You pull away. You find reasons it won't work. You want the opportunity. But you procrastinate. You underperform. You don't follow through. You want to change. But you keep falling back into old patterns, old behaviors, old versions of yourself you thought you'd outgrown. And consciously, it's frustrating. Confusing. You know what you want. Why can't you just do it? But your subconscious has a different priority: consistency. Not happiness. Not success. Consistency. Staying within the known. Maintaining the familiar sense of self. Avoiding outcomes that conflict with the identity it's constructed. If your subconscious learned early on that you're not someone who gets good things, it will resist good things even when they're right in front of you. Not because it hates you, but because accepting them would require updating its entire model of who you are. And that feels dangerous. The subconscious prefers predictable pain over unpredictable joy. It would rather stay in the relationship dynamic it knows even if it's unfulfilling than risk the uncertainty of something new. It would rather maintain the identity of someone who struggles, even if you're tired of strugglingâ, than step into an identity it hasn't verified as safe yet. This is why insight alone doesn't change behavior. You can understand exactly why you do something. You can trace it back to childhood. You can see the pattern clearly. And still do it again. Because the subconscious doesn't respond to understanding. It responds to experience. It needs to be shown repeatedly, patiently, that the new way is safe. That the different outcome won't destroy you. That you can be someone new and survive it. Only then does it begin to update. So how do you work with something that doesn't speak your language? You learn its language. You start paying attention to what your body does before your mind explains it. The tightness in your chest when you're around a certain person even though they seem nice. The exhaustion that comes after specific activities even though they should energize you. The resistance you feel towards something you consciously want even though it makes no logical sense. These aren't obstacles to overcome. They're information. Your subconscious showing you what it knows. What it's learned. What it's trying to protect you from or tell you about. And when you stop dismissing these signals, stop forcing yourself past them, stop rationalizing them away, something shifts. You start to notice patterns you couldn't see before. The situations that drain you all share something. The people who make you uneasy all have a similar quality. The choices that lead to self-sabotage all happen under similar conditions. Your subconscious isn't being difficult. It's being consistent. It's following the rules it learned. The strategies that worked. The warnings it recorded. And when you see the pattern, when you understand what it's responding to, you can start to work with it instead of against it. You can acknowledge the fear without letting it control you. You can honor the resistance without abandoning what you want. You can update the old program by showing your subconscious, through experience, that new outcomes are possible now. Not through force. Not through willpower. But through repetition. Through small, safe experiments. Through proving, bit by bit, that the world has changed since those early lessons were learned. And gradually, the subconscious updates. The patterns shift. The signals change. Not because you've conquered it, but because you've learned to speak its language. Your subconscious isn't your enemy. It's not sabotaging you out of spite. It's not holding you back out of malice. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do: keep you safe, keep you consistent, keep you aligned with what it learned you needed to survive. The problem is, it's working with old information. Patterns from a time when you had less power, less choice, less awareness than you do now. And it can't update on its own. It needs you to show it. Through how you respond to your feelings instead of override them. Through how you honor your signals instead of dismiss them. Through how you gently, patiently teach your system that safety exists now. That new outcomes are possible. That you can be someone different and still be okay. This is the work. Not conquering your subconscious. Not transcending it. But learning to listen to it. To understand what it's trying to tell you. To work with it as a partner, not an adversary. Because beneath your conscious thoughts, there's a part of you that's always been watching. Always learning. Always trying to guide you toward what it thinks you need. And when you learn its language, when you stop fighting it and start listening, something remarkable happens. You stop feeling at war with yourself. And you start to understand why you are the way you are. My name is James, and this is the Thinking Space. Do well to like and share.